Exodus 15, verses 22 onwards. Moses led Israel from the Red Sea out into the wilderness of Shur. For 3 days they travelled through the wilderness without finding water. They came to Marah, but could not drink the Marah water because it was bitter. That is why the place was called Marah. The people complained to Moses and asked, "What are we to drink?" Moses cried to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a log which he threw into the water. Then the water became sweet. It was there that the Lord laid down a precept and rule of life. There he put them to the test. He said, "If only you will obey the Lord your God, if you will do what is right in his eyes, if you will listen to his commands and keep all his statutes, then I will never bring upon you any of the suffering which I brought upon the Egyptians. For I, the Lord, am your healer." They came to Elim, where there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees, and there they encamped beside the water. Chapter 16. The whole community of the Israelites set out from Elim and came into the wilderness of Sin, which lies between Elim and Sinai. This was on the 15th day of the second month after they had left Egypt. The Israelites complained to Moses and Aaron in the wilderness and said, if only we had died at the Lord's hand in Egypt, where we sat around the flesh pots and had plenty of bread to eat. But you have brought us out into this wilderness to let this whole assembly starve to death. The Lord said to Moses, I will rain down bread from heaven for you. Each day the people shall go out and gather a day's supply, so that I can put them to the test and see whether they will follow my instructions or not. But on the 6th day, when they prepare what they bring in, it shall be twice as much as they are gathered on the other days. Moses and Aaron then said to all the Israelites, in the evening you will know that it was the Lord who brought you out of Egypt, and in the morning you will see the glory of the Lord, because he has heeded your complaints against him. It is not against us that you bring your complaints. We are nothing. You shall know this, Moses said, when the Lord, in answer to your complaints, gives you flesh to eat in the evening, and in the morning bread in plenty. What are we? It is against the Lord that you bring your complaints, and not against us. Moses told Aaron to say to the whole community of Israel, come into the presence of the Lord, for he has heeded your complaints. While Aaron was speaking to the community of the Israelites, they looked towards the wilderness, and there was the glory of the Lord appearing in the cloud. The Lord spoke to Moses and said, I have heard the complaints of the Israelites. Say to them, between dusk and dark you shall have flesh to eat, and in the morning bread in plenty. You shall know that I, the Lord, am your God. That evening a flock of quails flew in and settled all over the camp, and in the morning a fall of dew lay all around it. When the dew was gone, there in the wilderness fine flakes appeared, fine as hoarfrost on the ground. When the Israelites saw it, they said to one another, what is that? Because they did not know what it was. Moses said to them, that is the bread which the Lord has given you to eat. This is the command the Lord has given. Each of you is to gather as much as he can eat. Let every man take an omer ahead for every person in his tent. The Israelites did this, and they gathered, some more, some less. But when they measured it by the omer, those who had gathered more had not too much, and those who had gathered less had not too little. Each had just as much as he could eat. Moses said, no one may keep any of it until morning. Some, however, did not listen to Moses. They kept part of it till morning, and it became full of maggots and stank. And Moses was angry with them. Each morning every man gathered as much as he could eat, and when the sun grew hot, it melted away. On the 6th day they gathered twice as much food, 2 omers each. All the chiefs of the community came and told Moses, this, he answered, is what the Lord has said. Tomorrow is a day of sacred rest, a Sabbath holy to the Lord. So bake what you want to bake now, and boil what you want to boil. Put aside what remains over, and keep it safe until morning. So they put it aside till morning, as Moses had commanded, and it did not stink, nor did maggots appear in it. Eat it today, said Moses, because today is a Sabbath of the Lord. Today you will find none outside. For 6 days you may gather it, but on the 7th day, the Sabbath, there will be none.